The music news for the streets, the music news for your beats, the news for the music stuff that you gonna need. We gon' talk about plugins, we gon' talk about gear. If it's news on this music, we gon' talk about it here. Let's go.
What up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's your guy, Something. Hit the keys. In today's video, I kind of want to have an open discussion with the whole entire community, basically about the problems with a lot of plugin and software developers, and talk about some of the concerns that a lot of us have. So I definitely want you guys to comment down in the comment section, because a lot of developers and stuff like that are gonna see this video. So it's just basically an open letter to plugin developers to let them know what we don't like about, kind of the way that the current system is going. Make sure that all your comments are respectful, as you do have freedom of speech. I do have the freedom to delete any comment that I deem disrespectful, because this conversation isn't to disrespect anybody, any developers or anything like that. It's just to make the whole entire community better and make a lot of the processes that we go through with plugins and all that stuff better. So the first thing that I feel like needs to change, or that we need to get under control, is the whole software manager applications. I have to download this stupid software manager on my computer in order to get a plugin. You guys need to figure out how we can just still download the plugin from the site. Now, there are some companies out there that honestly have to have plugin managers, and it makes sense. So Native Instruments has 600 plugins, and 600 sample libraries. They probably need a plugin manager in order for us to download all the libraries. And the way that it's set up, we can enter in serial codes from third-party developers and all that stuff, and it just integrates right into the system perfectly fine. That's cool. Arturia, another company that probably needs a software manager, because if you're gonna get the V collection, it's gonna be 35 different libraries, and it just all downloads in once. They update it like once a week. Often you see that they're updating the actual software. So companies like that need a software manager. If you've got 3 or 4 plugins or 8 plugins, you don't need a software manager. I don't need to have 45 software managers on my computer in order to download stuff. And with that, why it's super frustrating is because we have to download the download or the software manager. Then we have to enter in our internet code. We might not remember the internet code because we probably picked strong password. So I gotta go find the internet code. Then I gotta enter a serial number into your freaking software manager. Then I gotta download it. And then I gotta run the software in my computer. And then I gotta run another serial code or log in again. It's just, there's too many steps for me just to get my plugin to use right away, when ultimately we should have the option to just download it from the sky like it's been in the past, and then boom, put it into our plug, or put it into our DAW, and then put the serial number in, and it's ready to go. This next one is definitely a big one. You guys need to stop asking us for our address when we're signing up for plugins. Like, what you need my address for? I can go to Walmart and I can buy something from Walmart, and they're not gonna ask me for my address. I can go anywhere and get something, and they're not gonna ask me for my address. So I don't understand why we're at a point now where plugin developers are asking us for our address and our phone number in order to download something. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, you're not getting my address and you're not getting my phone number, so I'm entering some fake information. But still, you shouldn't be asking us for our address and our phone numbers just to get the product that we paid for you guys, or that we're trying to pay for from you guys. I can understand wanting to know the state that we live in, just because you guys want to know your geographics and where people are buying stuff from. So I get that, I understand that. But asking us for our address is a no-no. Cut that out. Before I continue on, I do want to make sure that I add that I did ask a bunch of people in the community their thoughts. So these aren't all my thoughts. These are a collection of the whole entire community, or at least a lot of people in my community. We've talked about it in a live stream. We've talked about it in some different groups. So again, this isn't just my opinions. This is opinions of a lot of different artists that buy plugins. Number 3 is another big one. Stop emailing us every single day. We don't need an email every single day talking about you have a new sale or something like that. There are companies that I understand that they do email often, and I understand why they email often. So I'm not going to be mad at like a plugin boutique or a Sweetwater or a Zounds. These companies that have thousands of products in their catalog, and so they have different sales every day. So that's a little bit different. But again, if you have 4 to 8 plugins or 4 to 8 sample packs or something like that, just because you're running a sale on one of your plugins doesn't mean that I need to get the email every single day. We seen the email the first time. Maybe you can send me a couple emails a week, but sending me an email every single day to tell me you have a sale is not what we're looking for, especially if we have half your plugins. If I have all your plugins, I don't need you to email me every day telling me you have a sale. Like a lot of us just keep the notifications on because we do want to know when you drop new plugins. We do want to check out your new plugins when they come out, and we do want to purchase and buy your new plugins when they come out. But just because I'm waiting for your next plugin to come out doesn't mean that you should spam me with your old plugins that I've probably already passed on, you know? If you're going to run a sale once a month, that's fine. Send us a couple emails. But if you're just running a sale this week on a plugin, the next week on a plugin, and the week after that on a plugin, and you're just running the same 3 plugins in rotation throughout 2 months or so, don't email us every day. We don't need that. Y'all gotta stop with the FOMO. So there's 2 companies that I have in mind that are the worst with the FOMO. And this, again, safe space, but I'm gonna call them out. Obviously, Unison Audio and Cymatics are absolutely the worst when it comes to FOMO. Because they're always quick to be like, we have 1,000 copies to give out, and after those 1,000 copies, we're not giving out anymore. And then they just continue to sell the stuff forever. So basically, it's like you guys are trying to trick people into buying your products because you're telling us that you're going to sell out, but you never sell out. You know, there's so many things like on Unison and Cymatics, different sample packs that you guys have just swore that you're only going to sell 500 or 600 copies, but you sell 15,000 copies because of FOMO. And I know why you do it is because you're trying to make as much money as possible. And you want FOMO, you want people with fear of missing out, but that's not cool. And with that too, let's talk about predatory marketing. So you guys have to cut out like marketing, like if you want to have a professional sound, or this is what the pros use, or all the pros are doing this, when you guys haven't told anybody one placement that's got with any of those tools. So whether it's a sample pack, whether it's MIDI Wizard, where Sep tried to come out and guilt us and be like, oh, there's a bunch of haters out there. They're just hating on the products because whatever reason. But if you want industry sound, standard stuff, or if you want all the placements like the pros are using and this and that, but you haven't named not one placement got with any of these products, stop saying that stuff, man. Stop trying to trick the up and coming producers who don't know any better and trying to trick them into buying your stuff. People are going to buy your stuff. Your guys' stuff's going to sell. Obviously, no matter how much hate I have for Unison, y'all are still going to dupe people into buying your stuff. I don't have no hate really for Cymatics. I just don't like their marketing the most. But people are going to buy your stuff. You don't have to go crazy on the marketing like that. The next one goes for plugins in general. When you guys are making plugins, you guys need to focus on making sure all the volumes are at the same level, at least in the same groups. So if I have all the pianos need to be the same volume. If I have all guitars need to be at the same volume. The same with bells or whatever the sounds is, basses, because you guys make beats. I'm assuming most of you developers make beats. And so you know when you're scrolling through stuff to find a sound and you have like a MIDI already playing, and I go to the next sound and there's this huge spike in the sound and it blasts me in the ear, you guys got to protect our hearing as well. You know, part of the responsibility of being the plugin developer is making sure that you have quality control on your product. And we need you guys to make sure that you guys are having everything leveled out from sound to sound. I know it may take a little bit of extra time, but that's what part of the job is. You're supposed to make sure everything is copacetic for us when we get it. You know, there's no reason why I should have to have something at -12 and then I go to the next sound and it's at freaking -1 dB and it almost blows my ears out. And then especially when you don't know what the next sound is going to be. So it could be something that's a high pitch, harsh frequency. Just fix that so, you know, we don't have those issues with maybe blowing our speakers, blowing out our ears, anything like that. The whole community would definitely appreciate that. Stop making me sign in for free stuff and stop making me use iLok for free stuff. I'm not going to complain about iLok. I know a lot of people do, but I understand the reason why people use iLok is because they want to stop people from pirating their stuff. I know there's a whole community of people who are like, well, if they pirated it, they weren't going to buy it anyway, but that doesn't make it okay. That doesn't make it okay to just pirate or make it an excuse for why people shouldn't put security stuff on their products. But if I'm getting a free plugin, I shouldn't have to sign into the internet to use it. I shouldn't have to do all that extra stuff. I definitely shouldn't need iLok for a free product because it's free. What are you trying to secure? People are going to come get it from your site. They're not going to get it from no torrented site. And if you're going to get a free plugin from a torrented site instead of the actual site, you're a dummy because you're risking getting a virus on your computer than just getting it from the actual site. So maybe you should take iLok off because people might actually go to the torrent site to get it because they don't want iLok on their computer if they don't have anything else with iLok. And then that's forcing you, the developers, not to get the traffic to your site that you want because people know that you're going to put iLok on your products and they don't like iLok. So the next one, I understand this a little bit more than a lot of the actual subscribers or the users of these plugins do, but they want scalable GUIs. Now, I understand that it depends on the framework in which you're making your plugin in, whether you can do a scalable GUI or not. So, some of the things that people are making plugins in, like Maze or whatever it is, Highs, they might not be able to have a scalable GUI. I know some people talk stuff about those platforms, but I have no beef with any of those platforms. Make a plugin however it is that you want to make it. But at least make the GUI a respectable size. Like, don't give me no GUI that's only taking up 5% of the screen. So the GUI is like this big right here. We need the GUI to be big on the screen like this so that we can see all the dials, we can see all the controls. Don't make the GUI too big though, because we don't like it when the GUI takes over the whole screen too as well, unless it's a plugin that's a synthesizer with a ton of dials on it and we understand that it has to be big. If you have the option to make the GUI 75%, 100%, 125%, if you can put those options in your GUI settings, we would actually prefer that too, so we can just pick the size of the GUI that we want, because it's a headache sometimes when it's too big trying to scroll back and forth, and then when it's too small, it's obviously a headache because we might not be able to see it if we're using a small laptop. The next thing that we need you guys to do, developers, is that we need you guys to make sure that you guys are trying your best to optimize the CPU usage in your plugins. We do understand that some plugins you can't really optimize. So if it's like this super synthesizer like Pigments or something like that, well, we understand that it is doing so much that it's going to be high CPU usage. We get that. But then when it's something like Acoustica, when they're trying to put all this extra security stuff in there and it's really jacking up the CPU usage, we need y'all to do better. So, okay, put your security stuff in there, but you need to figure out how it's optimized. Don't be selling me no plugin that I can only use one instance of the whole project and then I can't use it no more. And then it sucks because we don't know until we get the plugin to use it, So I'm not going to be here to complain about the free trials. I know somebody's going to say in the comments, all plugin developers need to have free trials, but you can't go to McDonald's and get a free trial on a burger. You can't go to Walmart and get a free trial on whatever it is that you want. So, I mean, I'm not really I'm not for or against free trials. If a company's offering free trials, cool. If they're not, I'm not mad at them. There's a bunch of demonstrations on the internet that you can check out, and use your brain and decide whether this is something that you can work with or not. But I understand giving out free trials is another way for people to crack plugins. So, I mean, I'm not mad. I'm not for, I'm not against it. It's whatever the company wants to do there. The last thing I have for you guys is your sound selection. People say that they are sick of limited sound selection. So they don't want to spend $30 on a plugin that only has 50 presets, or they don't want to spend $30 on a plugin that has 100 presets, but all the presets sound similar. So it's like 50 bells, 25 plucks, and then like 25 bass, everything else, strings, all that other stuff is very small. So, if you're going to make a plugin, people want a good size of presets, especially if it's not like a synthesizer, if it's just a Rompler. Somewhere between 100 to 200 presets is what we expect now at this point for $30. So that's kind of what we want. That's what you guys should focus on. So that would help you guys out more, dramatically, is if you could promote, hey, I've got 200 unique different presets. Then that's going to help you guys out. Maybe a little more work instead of you doing 75 to 100, but a little more work is going to make you guys more money. It's going to bring you guys back more customers. It's going to make all the users feel good. So basically, those are some of the things that either I thought of or subscribers thought of that we think that you guys can do better at as developers. You guys in the comment section, let them know what you guys want to see developers do too as well. Developers, let us know in the comments what you guys want to see from, you know what I'm saying, us as the consumer. Ask us questions too. Let's make this an open discussion. And instead of attacking each other and going hard and trying to slander other companies, I'm not going to let any slander of any company be, go down in the comment section. Because again, I want this to be a safe space. This is about resolve. It's not necessarily about just attacking somebody. Maybe one bad experience is the exception to the rule. Like, so you may have had a bad experience with a company, but everybody else has had a great experience. Your bad experience shouldn't be the picture of that company, if that makes sense. So again, I'm not here picking one side or the other. I'm here in the middle as somebody who works with companies and as somebody who works with subscribers. Without this channel, without the subscribers, there is no channel. So obviously I'm rocking with the subscribers, but I also rock with the developers because they do a lot for us too as well. So don't be scared to comment. Make sure if you do like this content though, you drop a whole elbow on that like button, hit subscribe and that notification bell so every time we bring you guys a new video, you can be the first to see. Appreciate you guys' time as always, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
Some, hit the keys.